With the new Skyline Valley update, a number of rare items, ingredients, and junk have now become easier to farm. And in this video, I'm going to review all the farming opportunities that you can take advantage of. A few of these items have been placed in some of the most hazardous areas of the game, while others could not be more convenient to collect. So let's take a closer look and see what's out there in Skyline Valley. There's now finally a guaranteed spawn point for the Sheepsquatch to appear. This means you no longer have to wait for free range, Project Paradise, or the right random encounters to either farm or befriend this mighty beast. No, you cannot have a Sheepsquatch as a pet, but maybe in the future. With this new availability, melee builds can now more easily meet the steep requirements for crafting tasty mutton meat pie, one of the highest tier melee damage food buffs. And plans from free range, the Sheepsquatch themed melee weapons, you can now craft those items at your convenience. The spawn for the Sheepsquatch can be found right here on the map. A record-breaking 24 Ballistic Fiber can be found all at this location, Camp Liberty. Look around for the military ammo bags and the military-grade duct tape. Both items scrap for 2 Ballistic Fiber. You'll find 3 sources for it at the Activity Center. There's 2 total inside separate tents at the camping zone, 2 inside the mess house, and 1 on top of the building. There's 3 sources inside this unnamed storage cabin, and there's 1 at the archery range. And if you're here already, you might as well stop by this woodpile, which I'm pretty sure is the 3rd largest woodpile source in the game. There's also a bunch of cigarettes surrounding the campfire, which is convenient if you ever need to scrap asbestos for the daily or weekly challenge. If you're like me and can't ever seem to get a steady supply of coal, well, it would seem the developers noticed us. Check out all these new coal veins surrounding the Dark Hollow Manor. I believe with Skyline Valley, the number of coal veins has nearly doubled. These veins are spread out over the manor grounds and can be a bit tricky to spot, but generally can be found along a path circling the manor. Be careful when farming because this area is extremely hazardous. Be sure to avoid the glowing purple lights on the ground. While I'm not sure what the glowing purple is, I do know that it can be very deadly. There's also a new abundance of coal inside the old Cremora mine. Some of them are hidden behind the foliage that hugs the cave wall, so be sure to look carefully when you're here. I use coal for the Scaly Skin Mutation Serum, which I try to take every hour to counter the debuff effect. Since I don't use Class Freak at all in my builds, and I have the Flux to spare, this is how I get back the 50 points of AP that I lost from the debuff. I see the serums as their own kind of buff, but there is nothing wrong with using Class Freak in your build. Skyline Valley is somewhat of a hybrid biome, with sections mirroring the other biomes already in the game. The area around Hemlock Hole's disposal matches the mire aesthetic, and there are 14 new Mirelurk Eggs that can be picked from this location. The area is highly irradiated and defended by at least 2 Mirelurk Kings, so you'll have to be quick when looting the eggs. 3 of them can be found up the road at the abandoned convoy, and you'll have to be quick to pick those as well because the super mutants sometimes will destroy them on their own. I use Mirelurk Eggs to craft Corn Pone. It increases my charisma by 5, and I prefer it to Sweet Rolls, which only increases my charisma by 3. The downside to Corn Pone is that it only lasts 30 minutes. There's one other thing to mention about Hemlock Hole's disposal. There's a note next to a corpse that mentions something valuable in the area. Now, I've been unable to locate what this valuable thing is. However, there is something else that's unusual about this location. If you're familiar with the repeatable Pioneer Scout quest Operation Tidy, where the Scoutmaster needs you to clean up the toxic mutagenic waste, well, just take a look at what I found here. It seems like all the toxic waste that we've dropped into that blue barrel has just been moved down here, and that makes sense given the name of this location. You'll only see the mutagenic waste if you have the quest active, and yes, you can complete the quest by collecting the toxic waste from here. I don't know why any player would want to come all the way down here to complete the quest, but I have noticed that sometimes the toxic waste in Toxic Valley is bugged and can't be picked up. So if that happens to you, maybe try coming down here to see if you have better luck. The player trading market for Fallout 76 is in a bit of chaos at the moment. One of the things contributing to that is this new leader Bobblehead spawn, which is the first Bobblehead in the game to have a static spawn. Meaning, once you pick it up and then 250 other items and then server hop, a new leader Bobblehead will spawn here. Leader Bobbleheads increase your XP gain by 5% for 1 hour, and many players consider them essential for grinding XP. The leader Bobblehead is located inside a camper at the trading post. Deathclaw Eggs are one of the most valuable ingredients for carnivores looking to maximize their strength with Deathclaw Wellington. There are a number of Deathclaw nests in Appalachia that have a chance to spawn and contain a Deathclaw egg, and sometimes an egg beside those nests. But there was never a guaranteed static spawn until now. You'll find this egg in the security section of Vault 63 behind Oberlin, balanced on top of a glass cup. It was previously reported that all that was required was to leave and then re-enter the area. It seems like you now have to server hop to reset all the loot inside Vault 63. It's still very convenient, especially if you can't find any eggs to collect for the daily or weekly challenge. For whatever reason, the spawn rules inside of Vault 63 work a little differently, so if this does interest you, be sure to take advantage of it now because it may be patched in the future. There's also a cap stash inside the Shining Creek Cavern that can be looted unlimitedly. All you have to do is leave and re-enter the area to reset the cap stash. There's a really convenient pipe in the back of the cavern. You will have to progress through part of the new Skyline Valley main quest to access this area. Just be sure to equip Cap Collector if you're going to marathon this run. Starlight Berries and Fire Caps, which previously were mainly only available in the forest region, are also spread out all over Skyline Valley. This is another great source for herbivore builds and players looking to craft berry mentats. There's an additional thistle spawn here, along with 3 melon blossom spawns. And for any serious Fallout chefs out there, the kitchen at Rapidan Camp and the one inside the Brown House have quite a lot of spices and salt, and unfortunately, a regular amount of pepper. But if you're like me and only craft the finest of food buffs, more cooking ingredients is always appreciated. A few other random things that are here in Skyline Valley. There are a few additional honeybee spawns beside Camp Liberty, and if you didn't know, there are now some honeybees next to the Middle Mountain Pit Stop. I still see some players out there running all the way out to the Bloatfly Cavern for the daily or weekly challenge to kill the honeybeast. Skyline Valley also has an abundance of insects, especially ants, which can be used for crafting Rad Ant Lager, which is a carry weight booster. If you don't currently have this alcohol recipe, you're in luck, because the brain that rewards these recipes is once again sober enough to hand them out. I'm not sure why Biv was broken, but it may have had something to do with this doppelganger version of Biv I found being built in the secret bunker that's underneath the Slumber Mill Motel. It's possible the developers are planning to move Biv here in the future. The only basis I have for this theory is that the Nuka Shine and the Slumber Mill Motel have similar qualities, like the live band stage and the keg barrels nearby. I also suspect that the developers are looking for ways to increase general traffic to Skyline Valley. I know that a part of the new Skyline questline was cut, which would have involved the basement location here. But keep in mind, the developers have repurposed locations like this in this way before. For example, the location for the Rusty Pick was changed, and they've had no problem renovating locations like the White Spring Resort for the responders. We'll just have to wait and see if any notable changes occurs at this basement location. Otherwise, it really doesn't make any sense at all why there is a copy of Biv here. To wrap things up, for the right player, these additions are much appreciated, and it's always exciting looking for farming opportunities when Bethesda adds new areas to the game. I hope you enjoyed this review and closer look at some of the new farming opportunities available in Skyline Valley. Let me know in the comments below if you think I've missed anything, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching!